Good day, good day. Welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Jay, and this is Homeschool Yo Kids Podcast. Before we get started, big shout out to a couple of our sponsors who are in mission to ensure that you do not homeschool. Oh, alone. I got peppermint in. Um, so shout out to Classical Conversations, who is a nationwide curriculum provider as well as a community support. They are literally all over the nation. And also special shout out to Base Camp, which is a new app, not brand new anymore, but new. And they are mission to ensure that you find your community, you find your tribe, and you find the local resources near you. So check them out also. Today we have with us Shannon. Shannon, introduce yourself.
My name is Shannon Thompson. I am the founder of Dream Bigger Publishing. I aged out of foster care myself and created this curriculum as a guide to all the things that I wish I would have known as a teenager before I went into adulthood myself.
Oh, wow. Okay, look, plot thickens because this is new. This is new information for me. But Dream Bigger, I told you, I love the name. I love the name. So, okay, you are a product of foster care.
I am. I aged out of foster care and quickly found myself in all kinds of trouble afterwards. My story was very rough in that first probably 15 years of adulthood. It really, I was not prepared. I did not know some of the most simple things to get me through to start building and thriving in life. Just spent my whole life trying to survive. And when I started that place, I just started realizing some of the simple rules of life that if I would have known those earlier, I could have avoided some pretty serious pitfalls that I took.
Indeed, because I always start with, okay, how do we get here? How do we get to dream bigger? How do we get to, how did we get here? And so this is stemmed from what you didn't learn and what you feel like, okay, if I had a, got this foundation early on, I would have been a lot better. So talk about dream bigger and what it is that you provide so we can dive deeper into that.
Sure. So Dream Bigger is a workbook. It's 12 lessons along with a wrap-up lesson that just kind of brings it all together. The lessons are all guided by QR codes. It is designed for teenagers that are going to be taking care of themselves in the near future. So we all know that teenagers of that age are typically on their phones all the time. And we also use our phones even as adults all the time. So the books are designed where each lesson has a QR code that they will scan, go look at, look up whatever the thing is. There's lessons about what kind of job do you want, how expensive is the life that you want, understanding banking and credit. Each one of those lessons has a QR code. They go there, they read, they do the exercise, and then we write down the answers to those lessons because we also know that we learn things better when we write them down. So it's kind of a combination of meeting them where they are with their phones, but also learning in a way that we'll remember by having it all written down.
Indeed. Yes. And this is, when I was looking through it, because you were an exhibitor at the Arizona Expo, I loved it. I was like, hey, like, yes, like you were hitting so many things that I definitely feel as a teenager, as a young adult, these are things that we do wish that we had have learned early on, whether it be from parents or from the school. Either way, it's like, we kind of getting sent out there, and it was like we don't know anything for.
It's being missed a lot, and even though it came from me aging out of foster care, I really don't think that there is any teens that couldn't use these lessons. You don't have to be aging out of foster care to need these lessons. You don't have to not be from a two-parent household. There's plenty of two-parent households that are missing having this conversation with their kids. Plenty of people, in all kinds of different educational, but they're missing these particular lessons. So it came from that message, but it really is for all teens.
Yes. Oh, mosquito, don't you do it. Yes. No, I totally agree. I was on Reddit yesterday and I was looking at a post a parent had asked. It was a homeschool Reddit little thingy. I don't know how like the actual names for it, but either way, it was like a conversation. Lady said, "What's two things or three? I think she may have said three things that you wish that you were taught before the age of 18." And like people were just listening to all these things. I was like, "Oh, this is really good. Like I want to kind of save it so I can go back to it, like and make sure that I instill those things in my girls." But it was like just simple things as simple as learning how to clean up after themselves or wash their laundry. Like, parents think that they're doing like a service, like, "Oh yeah, no, I do all this for my kid. I do this, I do that." And then lo and behold, they go out and I read one, the girl said her college roommate taught her how to clean the bathroom. She didn't know how to clean up. She didn't know how to, it's like, so your book goes into talk about some of the chapters that you have in your book.
So there's in the first four lessons are about building your dream career. So they take a survey, kind of look at what kind of jobs might fit, but we look deeper into it. What type of education will it take to get that job? How long does that take? How much does that job actually pay? What does that look like? Where's the best places to be for that? We talk about networking. I have a website that builds a resume form for free. Then we look at how much does life cost? What city do you maybe want to live in? Let's look at the stats about that city. What's the unemployment rate there? What's the average income there? Now that you picked a city that you might want to live in, what kind of apartment do you want? We have them looking for the kind of apartment that they might want and actually pricing that out instead of just telling kids, yeah, apartments are expensive. It costs $1,500. Well, maybe some cost $1,500, some cost $3,000, some cost $900. What are you willing to live in and what kind of things do you want? So instead of just telling teens, because especially as a teenager, you're not really trying to hear an adult tell you anything. So this way they go and look for what they want. You go pick the apartment you want, look for it. How much does that apartment cost? Then you have a reality of what you need to do to get to the lifestyle you want to live. It brings that back. And then, so how much does life cost? They look at cities, apartments, homes, and vacations. And then understanding banking and credit. They're looking at different kind of bank accounts, different kinds of credit cards, understanding what a credit score means and how that does. And then we do a budget. We have them do a budget based on that first lesson of what their dream career would pay, and then then do that same budget except with a $15 an hour job. So to kind of look at the difference, how hard, what were you able to afford in rent with this one and this one? What did you have anything left over? Were you able to save anything? So doing two budgets based off of A, their dream career, and B, the reality of what they'll make if they don't have a plan. I think and then the final lesson is just kind of bringing it all together. Like, now that I've looked at all of this, this is the kind of job I think might work best. And I think this city might be best. And of course, we're teenagers, they might change it 1,000 times over. But just to kind of have a first idea and an understanding of what that looks like with that idea is just a big step. Just having that on your own.
Yes. No, this is awesome because like I said, I just read this Reddit post yesterday, Shannon, and I'm just like, all the stuff that you're talking about, this is the stuff that people are wishing that they had learned. Of course, financial literacy is a big one. That's been a buzz phrase, since 2020, I feel like it's been trending. Everyone's like, we did not get financial literacy in school. We do not know how to do taxes. We do not know percentages. We don't know about investments. We don't know about a lot of stuff. And it's like, okay, we out here, like you said, surviving.
Yeah, and there's so many more lessons I'd love to add to all of this, but I think I got the core, and I'm still fairly new. I would love to do some spin-offs on some of these, but these 12 lessons I feel like are so core that you're in a better place at the end. As a 16, 17, 18, even up to 20, depending on what your life has been going through, these lessons will have you more prepared before you get.
And that's why I say young adults too, because I still feel 18, 19 are they're babies. I just text one of my former students. She just turned 23 and she was like, I can't believe today's her birthday. She's like, I can't believe I'm 23. And I said, girl, you're still a baby. Like you're still a baby in
Truly.
my book because their brain's not even fully developed at 23. So it's like, yeah, you're still a baby. But like you said, there are a lot of people who are jumping out soon as 18 hits, and it's like I'm always stay, look, if your parents are allowing you to stay, look, stay as long as you can. Stay as long as you can and ask more questions.
Yes, yes. And there's so many who can't, you know what I mean? They don't have that.
Yes.
But yes, and especially in this community, the homeschool community, even in that case, you have great parents who are so involved, but you're maybe focused on, this education side of things. You think
The academics.
by watching, they really don't. You think that they learn because you're reminding them that you're paying bills all the time, but they don't really sitting down and showing them the bills that you're paying and having them do it with you. They're really not learning it.
Yes. Yeah, no, that was one of the things people listed on Reddit to learn how to pay bills or even to look for, and you hit that on to know how to look for an apartment instead of doing it. And, instead of learning as you're doing it, to actually know what it is that you should be looking for, asking the questions about, because all that stuff is very like intimidating. It's like you said, like we know our parents were doing it, but it's a whole different things when it's time for us to do it.
Correct. Yeah, 100%.
Yes. So okay, so this brainchild came from your struggle. Like you like, okay, this is a struggle and I don't want the future generations to go through this. So how can I help?
Correct. Well, I just want to put this book out there. I want as many teens to get these lessons as possible. I'm brand new to this. Well, not brand new, almost a year. I'm almost a year into my business now. But
Nice.
being used by several people, and actually the homeschool community has recently kind of picked up on this. So it's been great. And I'd love to get the books out there to anybody who's got teenagers that need these lessons.
Yeah, and they do. Well, and they do. No, I think it's great. I have to connect you with the founder of Infinite Dreamers, and it's wild that y'all both have dream in your titles, but her book is similar to you. It's like the career readiness
Mm.
manual. And y'all are kind of along the same lines, but she has a podcast, so you got to go up there too. But she's pretty awesome. She's all the way in Maryland though. But what made you sit with the name Dream Bigger? What how did that
So
jump to you?
like just came to me because I think that I was realizing like I didn't ever even dream big enough. Like
Mm,
even, I didn't think I could get these things. I didn't think I could do big things. I just always put myself in this smaller box, like because I was always just surviving.
mm,
And when I realized that, oh, if I could understand, I actually can grow. I could actually do these big things. If I keep my credit straight and I get a career and I work hard, I actually can do those big things. I can
indeed.
have that nice apartment or buy that big house. Like I think people are so limited on their dreams. They think they can't. They think that's for like a different population or a different kind of people. And it really isn't. You just need to know what it takes to get there. We can't, any of us can do however big we want. You just have to know, you have to create a path for yourself. You
Yeah.
know what it takes to get there. If I want $1 million house, then what kind of income do I need to do to get there? What kind of credit do I need to do? If I do all these things, I can get that too. So
Indeed.
I want people to not just take these lessons or these are lessons. I want you, and you'll, I, did I give you a book? I'll have to send you a book, but it's
Okay.
a book. I'm always like, I want you to dream big. I want you to, yes, be reasonable with your apartment, but because we have them fill out 3 different apartments. So I'm like, pick that dream apartment. Know how much it costs. It's okay. It seems outrageous, but if you know how much it costs, then you can go after it. So I want
Yeah.
you to dream that big dream and know what it takes to get there because you can make it happen. If you don't know what it takes to get there, you'll never get there. Like I used to say, I'm from Montana. I used to say, like, nobody ever dreams big here. Like, the nicest house is like a split level house. Like, if your biggest goal is a split level 3-bedroom house, like, very seldom do any of us actually get that highest goal. But if your highest goal is only this small thing, you're not getting very far. You have to shoot those dreams real big in order to get higher. So I want these kids to believe that they can do all the things that they see, because they got to know what the plan is.
Yes. Yes. No, big message. Because so often kids come across dream killers. Like, they come across the ones who telling them to dream smaller. Like, oh, you want to do that? No, that's too much. Oh, no, you can't do that. So they need to hear and they need to know that, hey, there are no limits. Like, that's my motto. There's no limits to any of this. If you believe it, you can achieve it. And like you said, put the plan in place. Because I think that's the hardest part, is creating the plan, the steps to getting to the dreams.
Right. But by knowing what a job will pay at its best, by knowing what it costs to live in a particular city, by knowing what the apartment costs, then you can make a plan. If you just are like, LA and, huge apartment, you don't really know. You end up getting to LA, you're totally not prepared. And then the whole on its way falls apart. If you know what you're shooting for, you know what it's going to take, then you know how hard you need to work to get there.
Indeed, because even in understanding the different cities and the cost of living that is associated with each state or each city, like understanding that's different. That's even a thing.
Assignments. That's one of the assignments. You look at what 3 cities do you maybe want to live in. Now write down, and the QR code takes them to the website that they punch in the city, and then it'll give them what the unemployment rate in that city is. What's the median that city? What's the median house cost for that city? And then when you look at 3 different cities, you see the difference in these, and can give you a clear idea of why living in one place might be better for you than another.
Nice.
And not because it's cheaper, not necessarily because it's cheaper though, because something cheaper might have really high unemployment rates. It's looking at it as a whole picture.
And I like that you put that in there with the unemployment rates, because that's not something you think about. It's like, oh, you want to go there, but know that there's not no jobs out there.
Right.
Like, understanding the job market, understanding like how to market yourself, and understanding that the jobs should be marketing you as well. And you're a value, you're an asset to a company. And so, you go in there asking the correct questions, go in there asking and looking to receive what it is you are valued for, like not just accepting anything.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I love this. I told you that already. That's why we're talking, because I love what you have created. I really do. Because parents, like, we try to get it all, and we thinking that we're getting it all, or sometimes we don't have time to get it all. And so assistance is needed. And I think you have definitely created a blueprint of adulthood, at least beginning of adulthood.
Yeah. I mean, there's lots more lessons that these kids need before they get out on their own. But for me, these are the core things that I really feel like, at least on the financial side or career side, can kind of get you ready for that part of it. I mean, there's a lot of life skills out there we need to teach these kids, but these things work on that career readiness and financial literacy kind of thing and I tried my best to do it in a way that's relatable and, individual. There's not a right answer to any of the questions in this book, because it's a matter of you going and looking it up and see what works for you. So there is no right or wrong answers. It's a matter of just doing it. And the lesson comes in doing it. You understand, like, oh, so that's what it's going to take to get the dreams that I want,
Yes, yes. And I'm just so big on the plan. Even with the 8 and 11-year-old that I have, I'm always like, okay, y'all telling me what you want to do. Like, do you got a plan for it? How you going to do it? How we going to pull it off? Because you're not leaving it to me to think about the plan. So I want to put that, that foundation in them early, because we could set goals all we want to. We could dream as big as we want to, but if we're not actually taking the action to work towards those goals or dreams, it's just us we're just dreaming.
Yeah. So, and also just as a side note, I did this in two different formats, and it's kind of, and the first format is that the books were 4 lessons with 4 weeks a day planning pages, because that's what I kind of like. You have to kind of put your dreams in motion and paying attention to what you're doing each day, and things off of your to-go list on your to-do list. Those things help you make those steps to finish things. So I did it in 2 formats. It's been more popular just as a workbook by itself without the day planning pages. But I really think for, people who are really trying to get their teens to start paying attention to where they put their time and making sure they're following through with the things they have to do, the format that includes the day planning pages is really powerful for that. You have 1 assignment a week, but you can check in and be like, so did you plan your week out? Were you writing in this every day? What things did you get done this week because you wrote them down? Because I really believe strong, but I'm a planner person. I love to use a planner and write it down.
Me too. Me too.
So yeah, it's not for everybody, but for some, I think it's a really good tool.
Indeed. No, of course. Of course. I just know what the way adulting is set up. It's like you want all the tools that are available to help make sure that you do not have to struggle. Because I feel like that's the average. The average American struggles. Like it's like there's no preparation that we've gone to. I feel like we're at a time now where parents are ensuring and trying to flip it around and make sure that their kids don't go endure the same struggle. Like, it's like generational things that we try to correct. Whereas like, I feel like our parents before us may have been focused on like maybe material or education wise, making sure that we had a different education than them, and making sure that we had all the things that they may not have had when they were growing up. But this generation, my generation, and the ones that are coming up are more focused on making sure their children are mentally mentally taken care of and mentally have a stability, as well as the physical and spiritual stability or a grasp on their life. It's different. I feel like it's different. So yeah. Great value that you have created.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yes. And I know this is just the beginning.
It's been very exciting, I've gotten a lot of recent great feedback, and I'm getting the books out there more, and I'm excited to just see where it goes. I'm excited to help just one kid. It originally started out with this kind of idea. We worked with a nonprofit in Montana that did a summer program using some of the skills, but I really wanted to be able to touch more people. So that's why this last year we started creating this, and it's been exciting to get it out there.
Have you ever thought, because I know I had asked you about getting it into schools, but with your background with foster care, have you ever thought of partnering with maybe group homes or?
Most of the people who've purchased the books thus far, that's the community. That's the community.
Really? Okay.
Because that's my story. Those are the people who have opened their arms first to me. They understand in that industry also. It respects experience more than education, I guess, as far as this, they understand that people who've had that same experience understand them more. So, and I think the homeschool community is probably similar to that in that they, understand one another who are in the homeschool community. So yes, the after group homes, programs that work with aging out foster kids, I'm working on schools. Schools are bigger, the homeschool community.
Mhm.
I had some good feedback and made some sales at your guys' expo. And then this woman on Instagram recently got a copy of it and made a beautiful post for me. And so
Oh,
it's
nice.
all about homeschool. So it's getting out there. Um, and I really want to get, a lot more feedback from it, but yeah, it's making changes and I'm loving it.
Indeed, girl, you being a change. You've created a gym. It's a gym. It's going to be a gym in the community. And
I
I
love
love it. I love it. I love it. And I appreciate you for doing it. Because, a lot of times we do get caught up in our struggle that we don't go back and help those who are coming up. And I feel like that's a part of adulthood. It's like you have to go back and try to change something with the future generation, even if you don't have kids yourself, whatever the case may be. It's like, okay, how can I be that change? And
Yeah.
you did it.
Yeah. I mean, I did have kids, raised them on their way. They're in their 30s now. I'm a grandmother now.
That's crazy.
I think that's part of it.
And I think, like, thought we were like the same age. Go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Well, yeah, my kids are in their 30s.
Yeah, I just made 40.
Oh,
So that's why I'm like, well, unless you had your child when you were 8, I don't think
yeah,
that,
no. No, but the kids are huge supports of this whole thing, and yeah, they've been great. And I think that part of it, you might feel this later on, but when they're gone, you feel the need to do something.
Right.
So it's the focus on all of this has kind of come after everybody was out of the house and graduated from college.
And that's fine.
Yeah.
No, because it's you getting back to you. I feel like, parents lose themselves once they have their kids. And that's why I'm always like, don't forget you. Because I always tell my kids, I was Jay way before I had you. And look, and I'm gonna be Jay way after. So I want to do the things that I still love. I want to experience life in the manner that's still fitting to me, not just as a parent, but as an individual myself.
Yeah.
But a lot of parents do lose themselves in raising kids. And then it's like, okay, once they're gone, it's like, oh, shucks, what am I supposed to do with this? Like, I don't have anyone to clean up after, fuss at. I don't have anyone to run it and be a Uber for. Like, what am I supposed to do now? And so many times I have these conversations. I actually just talked to this couple who homeschooled for over 32 years, and now they are still teaching Spanish. They are still out here doing and just practicing in the art of servitude and understanding that their purpose is way grander than just having raised kids and now being grandparents. Understanding like, nah, you still got stuff to do, honey.
Yeah. Yes. 100%.
Yes, yes. So thank you for giving back. Thank you for remembering us. Let me ask, how do you self-care?
Oh man. How do I self-care? I have like Sunday afternoons to myself. Other than that, pretty much go all the time still in my life. That hasn't slowed down. I think it might have for a while, but I picked up this. I still work full time. This is my side business for now. And now I'm also trying to relocate to Dallas, Texas now. So currently there's not a lot but part of that is being closer to my family. My daughter's there, and my life is just kind of hectic here in Phoenix. So I think that getting back to be with my family is going to calm all that down a little bit and allow me to focus.
Okay.
It's kind of sad for me to sit here and think about. I really don't do that many things for self-care for myself.
Really?
I need to do better.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. And I'm glad you are saying that out loud. So hopefully it is registering with your brain that, okay, yeah, no, I do deserve to take care of myself better. Because I say it's priority, it's not an option.
Yeah, I need to do more of that.
Yes, yes. So at least you have Sunday afternoon and you recognize that. But definitely, even if it's just for 10, 15 minutes, playing a little game or listening to or scrolling or whatever it is that you are able to find your happy space, take time for it.
Thank you. I need that advice.
Yeah, no worries. No worries. So where do we find Dream Bigger?
Well, I'm on Amazon. So, and I also have my website, which is dreambiggerpublishing.com. You can click on any of the pictures on the website and it'll take you to the Amazon page. But if it's like a micro school or somebody that's doing a group, I would say reach out to me directly because I can give group pricing for, but if you're purchasing just one for your one teenager, it's easier if you go to Amazon. But like I said, if it's any kind of micro school or a group of people who want to do it together, I definitely have discount pricing for anything over like 10 books. It'll make it a lot easier for them.
Nice. Well, thank you. Thank you. And the links will be available in the description as well. So thank you for that. And before I let you go, Shannon, because I know you had a long day, 3 things that you would like to leave listeners with. If they didn't hear anything else in this conversation, what are 3 things you would like them to go take away?
I would say we have to encourage these kids to dream as big as they possibly want to and just encourage them to find a pathway to that big, huge dream. So never limit anybody's dreams. Also, just remember that even though we think kids are paying attention, they're really not learning some of those core things that you're doing. So even though they see it, they don't learn it. So, we have to make sure we sit down and teach those lessons. And just believe in our teenagers. They get to acting up and and it's part of their life or part of their brain to get that independence at this time. So it's not necessarily that they're just acting up or whatever, but they're growing, and that's the point. I actually thought of one other thing I want to say, because you said this earlier. It's part of, as parents, I use this old analogy that we are a bow and they are an arrow, and we're together with them for all these years, and we're pulling back and we're pointing them in the right direction, and we're doing all the things to get them ready. But eventually we have to let go of that arrow and they're going to shoot out on their own. So it's like really important to you give them all that tension and give them all that education and pointing in all the right directions. So when that arrow goes off on its own, it's going to the right place, so that's what I want people to understand with these teens. We just give them the tools and then we got to send them on their own.
Yes, I say don't fall back. Like, don't, just because it gets to the teenage years. I know, and I've said this plenty of times on the podcast. My students, when teaching 10th and 12th graders, my students used to tell me that I talk to them more than their parents, and that always bothered me. And so I've always been very cognizant to know that I need to make sure I remind parents to talk to your kids. Like, don't fall back just because they get older. They still need you, and they still desire you to be a part of their life. So keep at it, keep providing. It is a lot to teach. It definitely is. But just make sure you leave it open for them to come to you. So even if it is something that you may have missed while, bringing them up or teaching them, just make sure that it's an open door policy where they can always know, let me go ask my mom, let me go ask my dad, because I always want my kids to come back to me for everything. Even if I don't know the answer, I will help them find it. Okay. So don't have them out there thinking they got to figure it out by themselves or struggle or any of that. Just have that safe space for them. But definitely check out Dream Bigger. I got to flip through it. My littles, definitely some of the conversations we've had, but not in the depth that you have it in. And I loved it. I love what you have produced. And so I hope that families are able to take advantage of it, because we don't necessarily always know. Like, you can get on Reddit. Like, I be hopping on every now and then. But it goes way beyond academics. It definitely goes way beyond academics. I've never used a polygon theorem or whatever that mess was in geometry. I don't do algebra in real life. Like, I don't do a lot of the things. However, life skills, learning about investment, balancing, paying things on time, all the good stuff, conflict resolution, problem solving, critical thinking as a whole.
Yes.
Very necessary. Very necessary. So thank you, Shannon. Thank you
Thank
for
you
doing the
so much for
workbook.
having me. Thank you so
Of
much.
course. Of course. Parents, homeschool your kids.